Well, hello my YouTube friends. Big Dog Beef here. Another video for the Rock Island Armory Rock Ultra full-sized high capacity in 45 ACP. This is my hopefully new competition gun. While my XDM is great, I guess I just kind of missed that hammer. I missed that trigger pull of a 1911, and personally I kind of like the higher capacity guns, so I got this one. Essentially a Para 1445 clone. But that is not the reason for this video. Well, it's part of the reason for this video. We're here to talk about whether or not this firearm makes weight for IDPA competition. In CDP and ESP, gun weight needs to be under 43 ounces or under. Okay, 43 ounces, if you have a gun that's 43 ounces, you're flirting with disaster. You know, one little thing wrong here or there and you're no longer legal. So, before we go any further, let's go ahead and weigh this up. Weight in IDPA is determined by the gun and an empty magazine inserted. So let's go ahead and stick this on our scale, which you can see is at 0. It's set to ounces. I'm just going to stick it right on here. Oh, of course, it'll turn off on me. Okay, let's try that again. And we are overweight by 1.8 ounces. So let's call that 2 ounces. Well, okay. Let's, just for the fun of it, that was the factory magazine. Let's weigh this with a Mekgar magazine. Wow, the Mekgar magazine weighs more than the factory magazine. Interesting. And finally, let's go ahead and weigh it with a factory magazine that actually has a Dawson base pad on it. That's even heavier. So, it boils down to, what can we do to make weight? Well, there's a couple of things actually. We basically need to remove 2 full ounces from this gun. I would prefer to actually remove 3. 4 would just be plain awesome. Now, why would I want to remove even more than what I need to be legal? It allows me some greater flexibility with accessories, plus a margin of error. Again, you saw the difference with the Mekgar magazine that was heavier than the factory magazine that I was shipped with. And then the factory magazine that has a Dawson base plate on it was even heavier than those 3. I mean, there's the Mekgar, there's the factory, there's the factory with a base plate. So that would allow, we need to take into account that kind of information to account for the variables. By the way, while we're here, here's the gun without a magazine. Just so you know. But when I'm talking about accessories, I also am talking about the possibility of replacing the mainspring housing. Right now, this is actually a plastic mainspring housing. I maybe would like to have the ability to drop in a steel mainspring housing or even an aluminum one. Can't do that currently because it's just way too heavy. So, what do we have to do to shave some weight off of here? Well, as luck would have it, I actually saw a video just the other day from Rick at the Power Factor show discussing putting one of his guns on a diet in order to make weight for the IDPA bug division. It's actually a pretty good video, and he really goes in depth with different weights of mainspring housings and even triggers, and he went really far in depth with putting his gun on a diet. So with the magic of editing, you can see that I've actually broken my my pistol down, because we're going to talk about the first way that we can actually probably shave just a little bit of weight off of here. This is what came with the gun. I'm over here showing it like you can see it. Over here. It is a full-length guide rod and an open plug. So let's weigh this up. That is 1.8 ounces. So one way we could shave some weight is we take this full-length guide rod and we replace it with a GI style guide rod and regular plug. That shaves an ounce, which is somewhat of a misnomer because it depends on which GI style guide rod you get. The reason why I say that is because this one happens to be hollow. Not all of them are hollow, some of them are solid. So a solid one, yes, would probably weigh a little bit more. But 0.78 ounces versus 1.8 ounces. And by switching to the standard GI guide rod and plug, you don't really need a bushing wrench anymore. And you can still use the bushing wrench, but you really don't need it. We already talked about the mainspring housing, that the mainspring housing actually, if this was a steel one, would probably save us a ton of weight. I mean, those things are actually fairly heavy. Since this is already plastic, too late, can't use that to save any sort of weight. One of the things we could also do is we could swap out the grips for like some plastic grips, but I like those grips. I don't want to swap them out. Other options that we can look at are slide lightening to lighten up the slide to help make weight. Now for IDPA, we can't do any sort of really external slide lightening, like you can't have the ports or the cuts really cut into it. I do know some people that have heavier 1911 style guns and they've had some internal slide lightening done. As I'm not a gunsmith, I'm not sure what that would entail. I don't know if that affects the function really of the gun or anything like that. So IDPA, we can't do anything that would be visible. If this is for USPSA only, I could have, you know, ports cut in it and all that kind of stuff. One of the other things I was thinking about doing is having this top here, like flat topped or tri-topped. That should save some weight, but that's probably a non-starter, as it's probably not going to save that much weight. Maybe half an ounce, if that. I really don't know because I've never actually had that kind of work done before. So that leaves us with our frame. Put our frame on there. There's a couple of things that we could do to free up some weight, and that's remove the mag well. This thing here probably weighs good 2 ounces, maybe even more, but I like the mag well. It's part of being a competition gun. However, what I think we can do, and I'm going to just do this here, I'm going to move the scale out of the way, we don't need that, is, and you'll probably remember this from one of my other videos when I was talking about this, about making weight, is one of the things that I noticed underneath here. Typically 1911s, it's kind of, it's usually open in here. This is solid metal. It actually feels pretty thick too. So my thoughts are this will be our best bet for getting the weight down on this pistol, is to take this to a smith and have an area milled out of this side and this side. I just didn't take the grips off on that side. So one of my main concerns about this was that, will this void my warranty? I talked to Arms Corps, and I actually got 2 different answers. So I'm going to go with the one that I liked, and that came from one of the managers at the U.S. Arms Corps site in Pahrump, Nevada. For those of you that have Rock Island Armory guns, you probably know who I'm talking about. Seems like a really nice guy. I've never actually talked to him, just through email. Real nice guy. And he told me that it would be perfectly fine to relieve metal from underneath the grips as long as it didn't interfere with the function of the firearm, and to make sure that the cuts weren't too close to the bushings for the grip screws rather. Great! I actually have an appointment coming up with my gunsmith to take a look to see if this is going to be a possibility. One of my main concerns about this, other than the warranty work, which I'm sure that if I have to send this gun in for warranty work, that'll be another fight. But one of the other main concerns that I have concerning cutting this metal out, does it hurt the frame integrity? That's really a big question that I have, is that I'm not sure if it will weaken the frame to the point where, you know, repeated use will crack the frame. I don't think it will. I don't believe it will. I believe that if it's a quality manufactured, if it's quality metal in the manufacturing process, then it should be perfectly fine. So hopefully, by removing weight from here and on the other side, gets us what we want. Alright guys, hey, I appreciate you watching. I will certainly keep you informed as to what's going on and how it works, if we make weight, and our little adventure that we're on. Next steps for me are, I need to get this gun to the range and get it broken in first, see if there's any other issues that I run into that may need to go back for warranty. One of the things that really kind of concerns me is that feed ramp right there. I don't know if you can see, it's not, yeah, it's a little off for my tastes. That's it guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and as always, see you next time.